Welcome back to Rebel Driver's Garage. I'm Scott. Wondering why I call it Rebel Driver's Garage? Well, I'm a tad bit rebellious. Always have been. Never follow the crowd. If I did, I wouldn't own an Impala. I'd own a Chevelle or Camaro. Ugh. And you can see the flag behind me. Yep. Anyway, I also was a driver for 30 years. Yep. Driver. Yep. No, not a race car driver. I wish I was a professional race car driver. No, I drove for a living. And no, I was not a truck driver. I drove almost everything else. Starting off as a pizza delivery driver when I was 18 years old. Yep, I was a pizza delivery driver. I was that maniac with this little sign on top of his car doing 80 miles an hour down alleyways to get your pizza there in 30 minutes or less. Well, then I went on to taxi driving, servicing vending machines, and then I spent a long time, 20 years, driving celebs and the rich and shameless as a chauffeur in Los Angeles. Ugh. Thank God I'm out of that. So now I'm building cars. I build cars now. I work for the muscle car factory here in Kearney, Nebraska, building people's cars now. I'm actually doing what I did for a hobby my entire life for a living. So this is now I got my baby, my 65 Impala SS out of storage after 4 years when I blew up the engine 4 years ago. That was sad. I've owned this car since 1996. That's right, 1996. A lot of you probably weren't even born then. Some of you were just an itch in your daddy's shorts. Yeah. No, this is my car. So it's up here. You can see there's a little bit of it. So the videos that I had posted up before of me putting together the 400 small block from BluePrint engines, right? Oh, here. Yeah, like the banner that I got folded up here, right? Let me see here. See? All right. All right, BluePrint engines, small block 400, power adder. That way you can put turbos, you can put nitrous, you can put a supercharger on it. Makes 508 horsepower without all that stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. Runs on pump gas. It's got a 30-month, 50,000 mile warranty. Check them out. Anyway, I'm putting it into the Impala. And I got a new transmission coming for it. Magnum T-56 from American Powertrain. That's right, American Powertrain Magnum T-56. Yes. And that's going into the car as well. So if you saw my videos, previous videos, I'm me putting together the engine. Now you get to see me getting the car out, getting it in here in my garage, and starting to work on it and getting the engine and the transmission into the car. Follow along. Thanks a lot. I gotta say, I missed her. I really missed it.
Don't blame you.
Man.
I can't wait till my truck's back on the road.
Man. Yeah. 4 years last month. It's so easy how fast time can go by.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, it's been, 3.5 since I broke mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy. She's filthy. She's a little rustier. Man. But I have missed her. You want to see if there's a mob scene over at the car wash? Right. Look like her normal self again. Rusty, black, paint peeling off. Oh man, sure miss driving her. Oof. I'll have more on this as I start building it. After 4 years, 2 weeks, and some days, I guess, she's finally back in the garage, so I can actually work on her. That's the engine that's going in her. I'm waiting on the transmission, which is going to be a Tremec 5-speed. Man, I've owned this car since 1996. This is the longest it's been off the road. It's been rough. It's like missing an old girlfriend, I guess. Kind of weird, but she's back in here. I got cleanup to do. I washed her earlier, and I took her outside. When I had her outside, I washed her, so it still has the map. Look at this. Still has my road atlas when I moved from California to Nebraska from 2013. Oh, let me guess. Man, I sure miss driving this car. Hopefully she'll be making happy noises again by this summer. Right now, transmissions for this car are back ordered till June, which is sad. I got the battery charger. Seeing if it'll actually take a charge, which I don't think it will. Excuse me. I left the battery on. Let's see the battery switch. I left it on all this time. I thought I had it off, but it was on. Let's see. There. Can you hear it? Oh, there it goes. Powering them. You can hear the charger powering one power through my subwoofer. And my amp back there's all lit up. It's getting juice now. So I left that on. I put it on the chair. I put my voltmeter on it. It had 0.08 volts. Yeah, I don't think it's going to last. Yeah, I'm going to be buying a new battery. But what the hell, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens. It's on a trickle charger right now, 2 amp. So we'll see. We'll leave it on there overnight, see what we get. Worst case scenario, I got to buy a battery. Wow. There's nothing under the hood right now, so there's nothing to point. The hydro boost. Even though she's ugly, I sure miss driving her. I do is I try to test fit as much stuff as possible while the engine is on the stand. Oops. Reason being is it's much easier to fix it before it goes into the engine compartment. Whether or not your brackets fit the bolt hole pattern on the heads, whether your pulleys, like I said before, pulley alignment, your accessory drive. This is all stuff you can take back off if you need to. Headers are very important. Doesn't matter if these are custom made. I made these myself about 12 years ago. But they were made for a different set of heads. Aftermarket heads have different spark plug spacing. So I was concerned. These headers were melt when I had an engine that had Edelbrock Super Victor heads. Those have a different combustion chamber than these BluePrint engines heads. As such, the spacing and the angle of the spark plugs changes. Believe it or not, even GM's heads change the spark plugs, angle, and spacing, especially between the two center ones, over the years. So, this side is fine. Lots and lots of room. Lots and lots of room. No worries over here. But on the driver's side, we have another issue. So, this one's a little, see, it's got a little closer there. But the 5 and 7 are pretty cozy with the pipes. See there? So, what I'll end up doing is, I'll take the header off. I've already marked them. And I'll ding them out a little bit to give them a little more room. See, there's just needs a little more room in there so they don't get cooked when on the hot days. And I'm going to run those spark plug boot sleeves too, so to help as well. But see how the header gets pretty close to the oil filter. Want to make sure it doesn't hit the motor mounts down there. See, motor mount on this side, plenty of room on this side. But on the side, you want to check to see about starter fitment. So I had a huge regular GM starter when I built these headers, so there's tons of room here. And no problem there. So, next thing to do is to take some of the stuff off and install it in the engine compartment. And to that, when we get to it. So, I am in the middle of putting my T-56, which is buried underneath all these other stuff parts from American Powertrain, on the back of my BluePrint engine small block 400. I bought this bell housing, which is a quick time bell housing for T-56 to fit a small block Chevy. The 56 Magnums. This thing is not cheap. This is an SFI rated one, $987. Now, you're supposed to check the bell housing alignment to the engine, and the instructions that American Powertrain sends you shows you how to do it on a round hole bell housing. See, there's the paper right there. So, round hole. Well, that isn't a round hole. It's not even a complete round circle. You're supposed to check it at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock doesn't even exist. So, I go to Lakewood / QuickTime Bell Housings instruction sheets. Here they are. And started reading their instruction sheets. And they suggested to buy a part, which is an adapter plate that goes on here to put a different transmission on the back of this bell housing. In order to do this, to make it easier, but that's another $100 and another week to wait to get parts in order to get this on. Yeah. Okay, 2 hours later, I finally got it done. The dial indicator never moved more than 7 thousandths. So, you half that's 3.5 thousandths, which is in spec for setting up this transmission. So, yeah, it looks like the BluePrint block is pretty well done, and the bell housing is really good too. So, what I'm going to do is take the bell housing off, start putting the clutch back on, and have a beer. Alright, next is I drove the Pilot bearing in. This is one of those roller ones. Never used one before, but it comes with the American Powertrain kit, so I'm going to use it. I have stated it before, this twin disc clutch kit came out of my 67 GMC. I sent it back to McLeod. This is their RXT Street Twins. These are rated for like 1,000 horsepower. And they were, this clutch kit was in my 67 GMC for a while, but I sent it back to McLeod because my 4-speed is a 10 spline, and I had them change out the hubs on the clutch discs for 26 spline, which is what the transmission, this T-56 Magnum is. So now it's the time to install them. They even sent me a clutch alignment tool, which is very nice of them. It was like $100 for them to change out the hubs for me, and then shipping costs too as well. But you know, no big deal. These clutches are not cheap, and it's a great service, and I'm very happy. And they turned it around, about 10 days, 2 business weeks, I guess. 2 weeks turnaround, considering how busy it was earlier this year. That was pretty good timing. This is going to be hard to film since I don't have any help today, but the flywheel, they actually tell you right on the flywheel side, this is the bottom flywheel, it says so right there, bottom. The other one says top. They mark which side is towards the flywheel. Okay, so the bottom flywheel goes on, and then we got to put the bottom plate on. This plate, which bolts like a regular pressure plate onto the flywheel, provided with the provided bolts. So we'll do that one next. Now that I got the ring on, and I got to actually put the actual pressure plate on. Second disc is in, and you can see how the disc will move around. So what you want, the discs are the same diameter as the inner ring here. So when you tighten these bolts up and the pressure plate tightens the clutch disc towards everything together, you want to make sure that the discs are centered on the plate. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble getting your transmission in. You'll have a fight getting the transmission in. But let me show you. Alrighty, we got the clutch all the way on. They even marked the with a magic marker here, or paint brush or whatever, something, the alignment between the clutch disc and the plate. So you can't mess it up unless you got your head up your butt. Then you can't mess it up. That's really good thinking on McLeod's part. I like that kind of thinking. Make it dummy proof for dummies like me. So I got the bell housing on. It had a bolt hole for up here, and the BluePrint engine's block was drilled and tapped for it, so I dug a bolt out. I couldn't find anything newer, but that was the right length. And we got the bolts to go around the bottom of the scatter shield here. This helps contain this clutch if it goes boom. And clutch is in. Found my throwout bearing. Found the clutch fork for the Impala. So she's ready to get the transmission now. Now what I gotta do, as you can see, the engine is sitting backwards on the engine hoist, so I gotta drop it down, spin the engine hoist around, and get the transmission on the back of it. Hopefully. Anyway, that's what's next. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, don't give yourself a hurry there. There we go. Sit her down pretty close. Okay, how's that? That's pretty good. Right there. These things are not light.
No, not at all. I can vouch for that.
I have new respect for Tony Angelo of Roadkill Garage or Hot Rod Garage, because he bench pressed one of these things into Finnegan's Blast Me from underneath.
I think I did see that part of that episode.
On Hot Rod Drag Week last
He's
year.
a better man than I am.
Man, the guy's built like a pit bull, I guess. But Tony, you are a monster. If you could get this son of a bitch in there. Let's drop the back end down.
Okay.
Well, oof. All right. Well, she's ready to go in. Lift her up and hop her in. I got to fix a couple things on the Impala. I want to put my MSD box back in, and it goes on the firewall to hide those two holes. And I want to move my fuel line because it's not exactly legal. I want to do that and put that and move that to the outside of the frame rail so I don't get a lot of flack from NHRA techs and whoever else I'm dealing with. I got some flack over the years, and like, dude, it's a stock line. Well, they don't care. You know, 15-second car when I was running. Oh, this was a 14-second car when I did race it. And they gave me a lot of shit about it, too. And they go, well, how fast is it? 14 seconds. And they go, well, okay.
We'll let you slide.
And that's when it had an automatic in it, too.
You're not breaking any land speed records, so we'll let it slide.
At this point, we got the engine in the car. I'm sparing you the 3 hours of videotape where John and I were pushing, shoving, sweating, swearing, and everything else to get the engine in the car. So it's in the car, as you can see. It's just sitting on the mounts, though I do have the bolt holes in the mounts. Right now, the floor jack is holding up the back of the transmission. So, anyway, we're gonna move on from here and see what how much farther we got to do. I gotta figure out the floorboard with the shifter. I gotta figure out the and then I'm probably gonna have to cut up the floor to fit the shifter. I got two shifters. I got a White Lightning, and I got the original, whatever the hell American Powertrain calls their normal shifter. And I got the White Lightning. It's a mid-shift position. So follow along with that. So on the next video, I'm going to be sorting out where the transmission goes, the shifter position goes, and then I got to move the transmission mounts on the frame back. These are welded on in these cars. No fun. It's not cool like a Chevelle where you just move the holes back farther, or a 67 to 72 pickup truck where it just sits on top of the frame rail and you just drill new holes farther back. Now I got to cut the frame mounts off the frame and then figure out where they need to go back on, and then put them back on. The passenger side's a little more challenging on that part because it's got the fuel line, it's got my battery cables going fore and aft, so I got to take all that out of the way and hope I don't blow up, because I don't want to cut the fuel line either. So I got all that going down the inside of the pack, which I'll show you later. So stay tuned for the next video as I get farther along on this. I'm trying to make Kearney Cruise Night, which is a local big show. It's a week-long of car shows and cruising, and I'm hoping this car will be running for that at least one night. Though I don't have a lot of luck. I don't know. I still have a 12-bolt that's not in it, and I don't have a dry shaft, and I got to fill out the form, and I got to do everything else before I can even get the dry shaft. So I got to start measuring and everything for that. So, but I do have the original dry shaft, and I do have the 10-bolt in it still. If I'm a good boy, the 10-bolt will be okay, and I can have the local machine shop shorten the dry shaft, my original dry shaft, to fit for right now until American Powertrain sends me the really fancy one that they have that's included in the kit. So all that will be in the next video. Thanks for watching.